Today we're making new friends. We're building a community, and we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.
Right, hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And at the moment, we're going to bring you a quarterfinal this time of the Masters triples between Neville Ciccone, Christine Midgley, and Lorraine Ciccone, playing Kevin Barrable, Val Hurley, and Rod Hurley. I'm Alex Reid, and I'm joined in commentary today by Anthony Ulay. How are you feeling?
Good, thanks.
That's wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
We have a commentators shortage because everyone is out trying the wine. So thanks for helping us out, Anthony, and we look forward to hearing your insights as we go on. You were saying you played earlier on today in the triples with Grant Harvey and Paul Midgley, and his mum's playing in this game.
She is.
That should be cool. I think she's the 2 for Neville.
I believe so.
So it's not this lady, it's the other one. And on this mat, this is usually the downhill way that we see here. So we've had 3 bowls, sort of ironically a little bit shy on the downhill way. Have you played in this area of the hall, Anthony?
I did have a feature match yesterday in the academy. Yes.
What was your call on the mat? How did you feel it played?
It was actually playing pretty well. Probably they moved it after the first time.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit less uphill, downhill. It's actually not too bad.
So it's quite a nice mat to play on. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, good hands.
Yeah, it's cool. So we see here 4 bowls, pretty good line. Just a bit shy. This is the quarterfinal stage of this event, the Masters triples.
Yeah, they haven't changed the board, so.
Yeah, it's not 7. It's not 7 all after 8.
No, I don't think so.
It's all square on zeros on the first end at the moment. I should probably put this on the internet. And we see here this bowl from Orange just going a little bit past. It's a good place though. It's fine as long as it stops.
Yeah, always good behind.
Is this your first time in Blenheim, Anthony?
It is, yeah. First time playing indoor in the South Island in general.
Oh, lovely. That's cool.
It's been quite good.
One of the great things about our national events is that they sort of bounce around the country a little bit. The last one was in Rotorua. We've had Taupo, Timaru, Ashburton, all in the last few years. Good opportunity to see a bit of the countryside as well, although obviously the plan's not to see the countryside. You want to be playing bowls all week, but that's not always how it works.
It's just a bonus.
What would you do here if you're blue, Anthony?
What is that, the backhand? Well, it depends if you're left or right-handed, but just come underneath the orange and... Oh no,
Cool.
he
No,
opts to maybe hit the blue or just go around for the draw.
He called the hand right. It's his backhand. That's gone okay, actually. I agree with you. The obvious shot was on our right-hand side through that port there, but he obviously saw something, and the head's still looking okay. Orange is holding one, but blue's got a bit of position there. It doesn't need much movement. I think we'll see Kevin on that shot that you called for Neville, Anthony, just through that gate.
Might be a bit tricky to get under there, but...
Or on his forehand.
He is choosing to go that man.
This is a dangerous shot if he's tight, because that bowl's on that angle. You sit it down, it's not good, but no worries about that. There's a good shot there.
It is where he wanted to be. Because thankfully for him it's touching the jack, so
Yeah.
it's right where it's going.
Neville here on his backhand. He's just looking for a bit of movement. That was probably a bit quick for what he was looking for. So we'll see Kevin add a bonus.
No. It's pretty safe, because if he tapped it, it would have gone back to his orange. But that'll be the first end.
Yeah, we've got the first end done now. So we see the team of Barrable, Hurley and Hurley. It's interesting. Barrable, Hurley and Hurley take first blood 1-0 after one end. And how many ends are they playing today, Anthony?
It's 10 as usual, isn't it?
I think it's 10 ends, and that'll be a time limit still because it's the quarterfinal stage. So time limit 45 minutes on this quarterfinal, and this is, if you haven't figured it out, the upper way. So we might see a few bowls sort of fall short at the beginning the first couple of times. How did you find it? What's the difference on your feature match?
Couple of feet.
Okay.
Obviously with weighted shots it's a bit different as well, how you'd like to play the shots.
We see that bowl fall short again. So what we won't see with this orange bowl is one the same weight. He'll be looking to give it a bit of push.
Yeah.
Have you found the, we've got a bit of music playing in the background. You can't really hear it on the live streams, but there's been music playing during section play and post-section for this Nationals.
Good correction.
How have you found that?
It's been pretty good actually. It's been different, and I think for the most part people have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty good comments. I find it quite relaxing myself as a player. It's quite nice to have white noise happening. Often what you find in bowling competitions, because everyone's really focused, is sometimes you get a situation where the hall just goes quiet. And I find that really stressy. It's like I don't need
It's
that.
quite awkward sometimes.
I don't need that in my life. So I'm quite pleased that we've had that music sort of just chugging along in the background, providing that nice white noise. Oh, great effort here
Great line.
from Hurley. And we see Paul Midgley's mum about to approach
Probably come under.
the mat. Must be a very proud mother. Paul Midgley has had a number of successes in indoor bowls. He's won 4 national titles, won a national singles in Poirua in 2011,
Oh, okay.
followed by a couple of 4s, I think. 3 4s must be, with
Very good line.
Lamy and Phipps. Good track
It's a
there.
good bowl.
He's also won, he must be close to 5 Welsh trophies with the North Taranaki Centre.
Who's that?
Paul Midgley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so proud mother. I started from the Taranaki district, and then Paul moved up to the north one for his rep bowls.
Just replacing that blue there.
Good shot.
They see something similar here, I would imagine. If not more aggressive, just to move it away from the oranges.
Yeah, for sure. On her forehand now. I love that she's got one of those pusher-uppers, holding on to her measures there as well. It's good. Nice efficient use, and
Good
if she
weight.
gets that square, it's close. What a shot there.
It's a good plan B.
Yep, absolutely. She gave herself a good chance. And on the crossover, we see Blue holding one. Not the prettiest one that you'll see, but one nonetheless.
She had the weight, and that's what mattered.
Yeah, and Kevin on his forehand now. Oh, he would have been hoping to be tight rather than wide there, because he could have shelved off that blue as well, gone inside out through.
It's actually gone to a good place, though, because he can use that now, thankfully.
Yeah, he's given himself a good margin there, hasn't he, Anthony, for
Yeah.
his next bowl.
Fortunately, it looks like the jack's going in between the oranges if it gets tapped, so
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens
might
here.
go for a block or something like that.
Yeah, Neville just talking through with his team what his best option is. He's undecided here. We could see a nothing bowl happen. Happens so often in bowls when you've got two options. If you see a player is undecided before they let it go, they end up playing just a mixture of everything that's in their head, and nothing really much happens.
Yeah, you kind of want to decide what you're going to do, because then it gives you a bit more confidence.
Yeah, it's always good to play a bowl with purpose, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Kevin on his forehand here. I think he'll make a correction. He'll look to be through.
Yeah, he
Perhaps
knows
slightly
what he's
tighter.
doing with this one.
Kevin, he needs. Is he going to get a feather off that? He'll be disappointed with that bowl. Anthony came out of his hand a bit funny, and Neville will be throwing this bowl away.
I would think so.
Interesting. Often, what I've started doing, I said it on an earlier stream, so I used to just throw my bowl away, just not play it.
Yeah.
More often than not now, I find a spot on the mat to draw to, because it seems a waste to throw away a bowl when you could learn something. You can learn something from every bowl that goes up a mat. So a lot of players you see, if they want to throw the bowl away, they might draw to the front tee, or if the head's short, they might go around the back to the corner of the square or something, just to get use out of that bowl that they're not playing.
It's funny you say that, because on this map particular, when you play a bit shorter, it can hold its line, I found.
That's interesting. So yeah, okay.
Because when the jack's there, it has that nice turn.
Yeah.
But when it was a bit shorter, one of the shorter ends we played yesterday, it actually held its line and stayed on that wider track. So it'll be interesting
Yeah,
to see if it still plays the same.
there's something that's interesting again about indoor bowls is obviously our mats are very thin, made of nylon or wool, and they're laid usually over a tongue and groove floor, in this case a sprung floor. It means they're not perfectly level, so you have to watch. You literally have to watch every bowl that goes up a mat, because as you said, you might find a deviation in the floor underneath it that will affect what your bowls do, and you could feel like you're unlucky, but it might just be that you haven't been watching as well as you should have.
Absolutely.
And shorter ends usually do take slightly less green than longer ends because the bowl's not travelling as far. It's more relevant in outdoor bowls actually. A shorter end you take a bit less green than a longer one because your bowl's going metres shorter than if it was to go longer, so there's less time for it to roll.
So she'll have a wide open draw here. See if she can sneak one in there before the opposition.
Yeah, good start here from the blue team. They won all after two ends on this third end of this quarter final, and Orange should have been hoping for better. As we see Hurley on her forehand. This is close, this bowl. It's breaking back into the head. Just a little bit overplay, but good enough, good shot.
Something similar here, you reckon?
I think so. I think she'll just be looking to draw close. Literally on the back end now. Let it go pretty nicely. Very close here. That's a good shot there.
You find that people on the downhill way usually get a bit closer.
Yeah, and we
a bit
see
tighter heads.
Yeah, we see heads build up nicer because they usually passed and work their way back as opposed to being short and work their way to. So if you start off with back bowls and work your way back towards the jack, often the heads can be more changeable as well because there's more shots on. The jack usually goes back rather than forward. There's more opportunities there for teams to score numbers. And Blue's still looking pretty good here on this head. It's Neville on his forehand, hoping this one's going to pull up for him, and it will do so. That's a good shot there. Sitting with three. What's Kevin doing now?
Plan would be to
Anthony?
reduce it to at least one. Something in the head.
Yeah. And he's got that nice catching semicircle of blue bowls
I
that he
like the
can reach
pace.
to. He's very close here as Kevin Barrable. That's
Very
a
good
great
bowl.
shot there.
Might even be shot. Will be
Brilliant
close.
bowl. Well played. Neville looking like he wants to follow him down. They'll have played each other a lot, these two. They both in the North Taranaki rep team. If he was one up, he's been unlucky to make himself one down.
Yes.
And if he was one down, he won't be too fussed about that result.
I like the weight he used because he could have promoted the jack through for a big number, so it was good
Absolutely.
weight.
And also a well salvaged head here by Kevin Barrable. He crossed over 4 down, not looking great. So he's done well to score what will potentially be a 2 out of this end if he gets this bowl right. Let it go reasonably well. He's willing this
That's
one
good
on. He
pace.
needs it to run. He's just fallen that couple of feet short. And so we see their team pick up another point. The orange team of Barrable, Hurley and Hurley. 1 orange, 2-1 after 3 ends of the 10 that they will play, all going well. In this quarter-final match-up in the Masters triples. After this, of course, we will have... They're probably due for a lunch break, aren't they? Or maybe not. They should do. I think they'll have lunch. I would expect there to be lunch after this.
Yeah. And then
And
the
then
semis, right?
Yeah, when we come back, there'll be a semi-final on the live streaming mat, on the feature mat of the Open triples.
Mm.
And then we will do a staggered finals broadcast. So there'll be a Masters triples final, and then we will have the Open triples final broadcast last. And then, after that, if you haven't had enough bowls in this evening, the Matside Productions will be broadcasting the District Challenge, which will be hosted at Clubs Marlborough.
Oh, that's going to be very good.
It's always a great night, that one.
Bit of a shorter end here.
Yeah, we've seen it so much on this broadcast, Matt, on this upper way, the lead rolling the jack and it just sort of trickling past that front tee. We've seen a lot of ends similar to this, and what it has meant is that there's so much room at the back of the mat for the jack to move that it allows the players to be quite aggressive in the last 4 bowls of the end. It's very cold, Anthony.
It's a bit colder this morning. Very, very foggy.
I was not impressed with the fog, and I'm not impressed with the temperature. But the bowls is pretty good.
Yeah, the bowls are alright.
Close here. She's on the rakes. This,
Good.
you know, the players can play with a bit more freedom.
Good weight.
You know
Being
that yourself
positive.
as a player, when you have a short end, you know you can play with a bit more freedom because you can afford to move that jack as far as you like. There's plenty of room.
And being the aggressor, you go with the jack. So your bowl always follows it.
Absolutely.
So it gives you good position.
Literally here on the back end, looking very focused into her work. Clean run through's fine. That's what she's wanting now. Once you realise your bowl's not going to go exactly where you want it to be, sometimes you will it to do something else. So should have wanted that to be just around that orange bowl in the end to set it up nicer for the next. Ultimately unsuccessful in that.
Yeah, she could have even have been a bit heavier there just to play through the orange a bit more.
Yeah, if this bowl gets past, it's brilliant, but it hasn't, and it's not.
So she's probably going to do something like that here.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many options here for Midgley on the back end, which is to our right. In your head, you're almost going, I want my bowl to finish at the corner of the square, and anything I hit on the way is brilliant. You know, if she hits the blue up, it's good. If she's through the split, it's good. If she hits the orange, it's good. She's on her forehand, Anthony.
Playing for position, it looks like, just to give something
Why?
around the back, it looks like. Just coming a bit shy. It was a good track.
As we see that shot there of the stadium, lovely stadium, the Stadium 2000.
Yes,
That shot. A beautiful place to have a Nationals in.
it's been amazing.
The crowd just gradually sort of filtering in. Good shot there by Kevin Barrable. I have no idea what Neville's going to
Locks
do
in
now.
that orange, so that's
Looks like
quite
he's
good
ready
for
to,
him.
he's going to play the forehand, going to play the shot that we thought he might get his 2 to play.
More so playing through the blue than actually playing through the orange, and he's
Yeah.
played it well.
One of the
Oh,
options he could have, I mean, he's got all the... That's okay. So we now have Kevin Barrable still holding one. Looking
roll
on his
in that
forehand
orange
side
here, or
now.
just come through that gap.
Got an unusual delivery, Kevin. He's quite compact
Yes.
in his stance.
It's very good weight.
Effective for him. Old bowls that would have sat down. So what we have, and what we see more and more of in indoor, which is lovely to see, is we've got blue and orange and black and yellow bowls. They've been around for about, I don't know, 10, 12 years now. Makes it really good for the spectators to see, but we also, Anthony, still have a lot of the old brown and black Henderson-like bowls in use at club tournaments in particular.
Yes.
And they're made of a slightly different composite to the coloured bowls. They're less dense.
Oh, I never
So
knew that.
you often find that when you hit one of the older bowls or the older heads, they tend to fold more. You know, you don't need to hit an older bowl as hard as you need to hit a newer bowl to get it to move. For example, that would have sat over if it was an old bowl.
Yes.
Whereas it's a new
It's a
bowl,
good example.
because it's a denser composite, it didn't do that. So it's something to keep in mind as players. They're figuring it out now. The bowls have been around for long enough that we sort of know that when you're playing with the new ones, you just need to be that little bit more direct with your shots. And plants tend to be cleaner as well, because less bowls move on the head. So you can hit something and it's nice clean stun. With the older bowls, you tend to get just a little bit more head movement. Or something like that. It sounds good.
Something like that.
And what do we see there? 1 to the orange team.
Does look like one. Just didn't quite roll over that blue.
Yeah, he was unlucky. He played it with, near perfect weight. So it's 3-1 to the orange team after 3 ends of the 10 that they'll be playing. And we see Ciccone on his backhand.
Good starter.
No, we
Just
don't.
Cutting across.
We see Hurley on his backhand. Sorry, Anthony. Called the wrong name there.
We'll learn.
Oh, maybe. Let's not go too far. This is Ciccone now on the backhand.
That hand's got a bit more swing than the other one, so they're both opting to play the big swing.
It does. It's intriguing to me. And I suppose it's because it feels nicer when you're playing bowls for it to be a nice, you can back the bowl to arc back in. A lot of leads are opting to play that swinging hand, but conventional wisdom sort of states that if you're leading, you find the
Go on
straighter,
straight hand, yeah.
find the straighter hand of the two, and then you stick to it.
So she'll probably stick to the swing hand and either come into the oranges or just draw onto the jack here.
Yeah. She's wearing a club shirt there. She's not narrow. And she's not short. She
No.
is, in fact, off the mat. She'll be disappointed with that bowl. Easy to do on the downhill way. Just slightly overplayed. So we see an opportunity here for Orange to consolidate that lead.
Yeah, matching that back blue would be the goal here.
Absolutely. Half a chance here. Has the weight. Needs it to run.
That's just as good.
Oh, she's made it. That's a good shot there. And I think what we will see is a forcing of the hands to change to the forehand side.
Yeah, definitely want to be under that orange if you can.
Yeah. Midgley. So have you enjoyed your Nationals week, Anthony? We had a year off last year. Well, a forced year off last year with COVID.
Yes.
Well, this year we're down in the beautiful Blenheim. Have you had a good week so far?
Yeah, it's refreshing. It's good to see everyone again. You know, a whole year not seeing anyone. It's been really good.
Absolutely, and there's lots of you've got lots of friends that you make. That's one of the great things about our sport in general, but the national championships in particular, is you have hundreds of people every year going to different places, and they're from different places as well.
Yes.
You play with and against them, and it's a great opportunity to catch up with your bowling friends.
Very much so.
Always some good stories come out of the Nationals, Anthony. Some of them make the newspaper. Well, the newsletter, hopefully not the newspaper, depending, I suppose.
Yeah. Coming down here.
Midgley here.
Very
That's a
good.
classy bowl there. Good shot. Very good shot. And Blues turned this head around. They weren't looking so good a couple of ends ago. Well, a couple of bowls ago, sorry. And we get Kevin here. He'll play a positive bowl, won't he, Anthony? Looking through that blue-orange split. Pop the jack back to the back right of the mat as we see it. How's his weight? He's close on target. That was a really good result. He would have wanted to hit that harder, I think, there, Anthony.
Yes. But it actually didn't turn out too bad for him.
Rigged out brilliantly. He got his collision bowl to...
And it fell in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So he's got good position.
Close here from Neville. That bias side is going to get... Yeah, good
Held
shot
up
there.
really nice from him. Good weight. To hold it up.
Good shot. And I think we have to see another positive bowl here from Kevin.
Which hand do you play here?
That's a really good question, and I don't have an answer to it. I think
You probably played just in case, and
if I was playing, I'd play the backhand, and I'd be looking, the backhand, which is to our right.
Yes.
You look for the split, and if you're wide, it's okay. Because through that split, or even, actually it doesn't matter, you look in that general area.
Just because you got that chance to roll that blue onto the jack.
Yeah. What he'll be focusing on more here is getting his weight right.
Correct.
Yep, one
That
of the
was
options.
also a
That's
chance.
fine, yeah. So that was the furthest extremity of the shot, but he was in that sort of 1.5 foot target, and he got his weight right. So that was
Yes,
actually
the weight was the good thing.
That was a good bowl there from Kevin Barrable.
Which blue do you hit here?
Neville Ciccone looking at the options. I'd be tempted to go through the orange myself. We'll see what the angles look like. And we switch camera angles. That's tempting on your backhand. That orange that sits on the
Just
square.
orange onto orange, but it looks like he's opting to just play through one of his blues just to roll it in, maybe cut it down or get the shot.
We'll see what happens here, Anthony. He's close to a connection.
Yep, he cut it down.
Yeah, good shot. Cut it down to 1 there. Nicely played.
But he would like to have scored there, but keeping the game tight's also good.
Yeah, I mean, the triples is one of those games, as long as you're within Kui, you're a chance, because it's a game where the pressure dominoes really fast in the game of triples. So
Yes.
all you need is a good start from your lead, and boom, you have a 4 or 5 shot.
Yeah, you kind of miss one
Count.
bowl and it's like, it piles on after that. So you can really have that domino effect like you said.
Yeah. So Orange scores 1 point there, and they go to a 4-1 lead after how many ends? 5. After
Yep.
5 ends, so they're on their 6th end now. 4-1 up to the Orange team of Barrable, Hurley and Hurley. With 4 ends to go.
Playing the uphill.
On the uphill way, guys. We see that jack again, not quite reaching the spot, but that's not a bad place for a jack, is it?
They're getting
Anthony?
their tracks. And they'll find the way.
Oh, that was a backswing. That's interesting. I don't think I've noticed that before. It's rare that you see a bowler with a backswing in indoor bowls.
Yes.
Although,
That is a really good spot.
here's a bit of trivia for you, Anthony. There was a man
Okay.
called Reg Motion, and he wrote the only book on indoor bowls in New Zealand published. It was called Indoor Bowls in New Zealand. It was a coaching book, sold quite well. And in that book, he outlined a little bit of the history of the game, and he gave some coaching tips. He talked about the positions, lead, 2, 3, and skip. He talked about shot selection, and he also talked about starts and delivery. And Reg was an advocate of a backswing.
And
He
then-
believed that you should take the bowl off the mat and then follow through. And that was the delivery stance that he used. Him and his wife used to reside in Otamotai in Tauranga.
Oh, okay.
Reg passed away sadly about a year and a half ago, but Rose is still alive. She was runner-up in the New Zealand singles twice, was Rose Motion, and Reg skipped and lost a fours final in the mid-50s. So he sort of knew what he was talking about, but it did always intrigue me that he was an advocate in his book of lifting the bowl off the mat before the follow-through.
Not quite getting the position she wanted.
Oh yes, back to the game. Good call, good call.
So see if she can get it this time.
Got it square. Oh, nearly. So we see a really...
Another good position ball though.
It's like a shotgun head, isn't it, this one? The bowls are sort of scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
It can be some of the most difficult ones to call for because there's sort of bowls left, right and centre.
So anyone can score a big number here.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, isn't it? Anyone
Yeah.
can make something happen.
Because you can get rid of the blues or push the jack back to the oranges.
Gets a feather of this one, it's close. Hasn't done that, but another bowl that's sort of scattered around. So there's lots of options here for the skips. Kevin can play whatever he wants, really. He's looking like he's opting for the backhand.
Just to replace that blue.
You'd think so. With a chance. He'll be disappointed with the weight he used there because he had those two both sitting back at the spot level. You could be right through that and sort of get a good result, but reasonable nonetheless. Neville on his backhand now. He's having a nibble as well at that split.
Get the split.
He may have followed through enough for one.
But he got good position at the back.
Again, they're just such tough heads to call. These are harder heads to call and to decide what to do than the nice tight heads that we see sometimes because there are just so many options. There's no plants really set up. There's gaps everywhere. You actually have to play really good bowls and skips to make these heads happen.
Yeah. I think he'll do something similar here, trying to pick up the jack or just onto his own orange.
Yep, fair call. On his backhand now is Kevin. Let it go with a bit more purpose than his last one, and he's followed through for one.
That works, yeah.
Good shot there from Kevin. He was in the right area, I think.
Better weight.
Neville just wandering down the mat to have a nosy. Confer with Mrs. Midgley.
Play the same hand to go through the gap.
I've got no idea, Anthony.
Looks like they're looking at that.
You'd think so. Yeah, well, his two options are he can. The hand he played before was to our right on his backhand.
Just get the
That's his
split
bowl
again.
there, so he could try and do that again because he's done it already.
Yeah.
So he should back himself to do the same thing again, move it up for one. Or he could try on the other hand on his forehand side underneath that orange that sits at 2 o'clock. Drag the jack back to the blue that sits at 6 o'clock on the screen for a couple.
Even if he cuts the jack across to his upper two blue.
Yeah, what's important if he plays that shot is getting his weight right. He can play right through the centre of the square. Opting for the backhand side though. I think he just looked to move his bowl up. Let it go. That's the first part done. Outside edge of that one then. Oh, I think
Good
he's
weight.
done it. I think he's made it one. That's fair call. His weight was good enough.
Be close.
On this angle it looks like a blue, but it's hard to tell sometimes. One blue. Midgley. Oh, but that's interesting. Maybe they were holding one already, Anthony. It's a turn up.
A 2 would be good to get them back into the game a bit.
Yeah, in the context of the game for sure. Although they'd just be happy to score, I suppose.
Yes, that was a must-score end, I believe.
As we see some of the crowd in the background watching down that row. There's another row of mats in the background where all the quarterfinals are going on. So there's 15 games. No, there's not. There's 7. 15 quarterfinalists.
Is this the semi-finals?
No, we're in the quarterfinals.
For the Masters.
But I've forgotten how to do maths.
Ah,
I think there's 7 games going on down that. No. There must be. I think there's 7 games going on, and then our one, which is the 8th one, because there's 4 quarterfinals in the Open and 4
You are
quarterfinals
correct,
in the
yeah.
Masters. So 7 games going on, which is what the crowd was looking at.
yes.
Another one here. And what was the result of that? Was it another
was
point? 2. So that explains why Neville was wider than what we thought he would be with his last one. He was actually chipping another one in for second shot.
It was
So
very well put.
We see the score now, 3-4. 3-4 to Barrable's team on the 7th end. We haven't got 10 in yet, and I don't think we're going to get 10 in this game. I think it'll be a 9-end game. I think the time's going to run out. I forgot to keep the time, so I couldn't tell you how long they've been playing for.
Yeah, when you're sort of on the TV, you take a bit more time, I found, when I was on there.
So how did you, can you talk me through how you felt? You're on the TV mat yesterday, Anthony, and congratulations on the Academy's win there in the Northern Academy. That was cool. How did you feel being on the TV mat? What was it like as a player?
Oh. Like, you got to be conscious about the cameras. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Got the nerves out early. Actually got a really good start, so I was kind of settled in quite quickly. So
That's
it's
cool.
nice.
That's cool. So it's just about being aware of the players. That's how you found it affected you. Did you find the markings on the floor? Did we have markings on the floor for you yesterday, Anthony?
No,
Oh, would you? If we did, would you have found them helpful?
probably.
Okay.
But it's quite easy just to stand to the side anyway.
That's good. Because it is for sure something that players have to
It's a good
battle with.
bowl from Midgley.
Yeah, great shot there from Midgley, you're right. And a bit of a loose start from the Orange team. They had a 4-1 lead, and then it was a 4-2
This looked good.
or 4. Is it going to hold up? That's a good shot there from Hurley.
Didn't quite stay with it, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, slightly underplayed, I think, that bowl. That's okay.
So look to capitalise here for the blue. Want to give it a chance. Play through your own blue. Is
Good call. I think Midgley's got a set of those plastic measures on her push-upper as well, Anthony. And what a shot there.
That
That's
is
a
what
great
you
bowl.
wanted. Very good bowl.
All 3 blues go. Anthony just saying.
Yes.
They all go. And Kevin's called it. I would hit it harder than what he's called it for. You just need to give it a proper smack. Yes. No.
Could change something.
Well, she hit the bowl. And now the 3 blues don't go, which is it's not ideal.
Not quite as
Not
easy,
ideal.
no.
You You'd be disappointed with that, but he called the right shot and she tried to play it. She had the right weight, and we see that lovely camera angle again there of the. We've got a few solar panels in the audience, and the nice mats laid out. There's nothing better than walking in. It's a really cool look in the national stadiums when we have our nationals on.
Yes.
Lovely atmosphere. The singles in particular is pretty neat because all 70 mats or 80 mats are often in use, and the hall controller sits above us all, blows the whistle, and those jacks get delivered. It's a surreal feeling that there's that many games of bowls going on at once.
Yeah, it's funny to think that back in the day there used to be thousands. It's crazy.
It's absolutely staggering, a staggering amount.
He's played this well.
Great effort
Just
there.
his weight.
Good shot, and he set himself up for his next bowl. He's open, they head up a little bit, he can hit that orange now. But anyway, yes, Anthony, you're right, we used to have we peaked, the Indoor Bowls Nationals peaked in 1975-ish. Could look at the book if I wanted to. With just over 3,000 entries in the singles. That was held in Tauranga.
That would take forever.
Took a long time. They played
multiple venues, I'm assuming.
Yeah, multiple venues, and they would congregate in a stadium at the end of it. And the finals were played in front of big crowds late at night.
So we're looking for a block or just something, another one in the head here?
I'd say block, by the way. He's let that one go.
Yep, looking pretty
He's
good.
just trying to block that nice obvious shot because Kevin has to hit that orange. That's a beautiful block there from
Good
Neville
space,
Ciccone.
Right on the line.
I would almost hit that orange that sits at the corner of the square. You see the orange that sits at 2 or 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's a couple of feet away from the blue. Both of those are low of the jack and the head. If you hit that orange, it's coming into the split itself. Give it a smack, see what happens. If you're tight, your collision bowl is coming to the head as well. It'll still hit the right area. So you give 2 options there.
Looks like he is opting for that hand.
Needs to give it plenty of weight. Right through that bowl on the corner of the square. This is the one he needs to hit. And if he'd hit it harder, that would have been a better result than that. Good
very
effort
good
there
from
from Kevin
Midgley there
Barrable.
to get the jack to there.
Yeah,
Very huge ball.
She set that up, and it means that blue goes to a 6-4 lead.
Turn the game around. Still 2 to go though, so plenty of ends. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. 6-4, and on the uphill again we see that jack slightly underthrown.
Kind of middle. Sure,
The jack is not centre, Anthony, and it's making me twitchy. Go and move a little bit so I can be happier.
Oh yeah,
That's okay. Now that's fine.
moved
So she moved it there. Yeah, it's all good. So we see Ciccone, Midgley, and Ciccone 6-4 lead after 7 ends. I think we'll bank on 9 ends happening. We'll hear the whistle go when it does. I think it'll be a 9-end game.
Oh yes, I meant to say 3 ends. But with time, it will probably be 2.
Yes, I think that's right. And a great leading bowl there from Ciccone, so she's going to switch through.
What you want?
Back
Ball
in now.
behind.
How's the weight? How's the weight? She needs it to go. She'll be disappointed with that one.
Not changing hands, just another position ball.
On the back end now. See if he lifts it off the mat. It's really interesting.
It's actually quite good because it's uphill, so it gives him.
Yeah, maybe he's just
more
having a
weight.
bit of a back. Yeah, good call. Maybe that's the call. You can sort of change where you are in the box based on the floor sometimes. I know at the Queen's Birthday tournament in Rotorua, when they have a big entry and the hall is full, you're sometimes forced to have mats in places in the hall which are super uphill and downhill. I often move myself back a little bit, so my knees are, say, a foot away from the square, and we'll let go of the bowl and let it go in the centre of the square instead of at the top edge, just to try and take some of that weight off.
Yeah, just little things like that help out.
Yeah, I know. If it actually helps, or if it's a psychosomatic thing, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you feel like it's making a difference,
Very
it
good
is.
ball. Placing the blue.
Great shot there from...
Gave it that chance, and that's what you need when you're going uphill.
Totally.
Midgley could play another huge ball, moving the jack again.
Yeah, she's played some really big bowls in this game. As we see her on her forehand with a bit of weight. This is close here. This is close. She's got the bowl. What a shot. Well played.
Very good.
Sitting with 2 blue. We're going to see a big rake happen. And we've got
Would
all
you
the
not
mat.
play the other hand just to do it the other way?
Yep. No, not in this situation. She's given us a proper nibble.
Well, she
This
could
is a
slice
proper
it that
nibble.
way. That's all right.
It's either a slice of heaven or a slice of hell there, Anthony.
They can still play through that split, so
Reasonable chance.
You'll be looking to fold his blue over, I'd say, or get it right on the jack.
That was an incredibly frightening noise.
It was.
I think it was someone trying to start the heater.
The heater, yes.
So
You were cold, so
I'll
he
forgive
probably
them
heard
because
you.
I'm absolutely freezing.
Okay, so we're looking outside of the orange or the split.
Kevin on the forehand now. How's his weight? It's on the uphill. It's easy to be short. He's underplayed it, Anthony.
And it's touching.
That is gone. That's gone horribly wrong. The only positive there is if he's got good weight control, I reckon the jack is coming back to in line with the square right at the back there.
If he gets it
a
near
two
the box,
orange.
he could get 2. So you'll be looking for cover here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go deep. You've got the one. Go deep. You need to go deeper than that, mate. You need to go right back to the middle of the square.
Yeah, middle of the square.
If you try and draw close to the jack, all you need to be is not in the line of the jack, and it's just going to go swooping past your bowl.
Yeah.
You'd be better to play right nice and deep into the square here.
Because you wouldn't want to put a block either, because there's multiple things he could hit.
Yeah, this is a...
Could
if he
be
gets
right
in-
on the line.
well,
Oh no, it could come off that.
yeah. I don't think that's gone as well as he would like it to be.
We don't know the angles exactly, but it looks like if he hits the blue, it could come off the other blue.
If you hit the blue square, the jack comes off the blue and back and you get 2 orange, and that's what Kevin needs to be doing here if he wants to score a point.
I think he's opting for the orange onto orange. So it could slice across. He could get 1 or 2.
Needs to hit the blue, Anthony, and needs to hit it with more weight than that.
Not quite. So blue coming back to be ahead in this game.
Yeah, it's brilliant from blue. They've shown a bit of fight in this game. They'll be trying to get themselves through to a Masters semi-final berth. And they are at least 2 more up than what they were. So they're looking down the barrel of an 8-4 lead. 2's been conceded. They're going to measure for the 3rd shot. It's either going to be 8-4 or 9-4 on what's likely to be the last end of this game.
Yes, we don't know
There's
the
those
time.
hips are like measures, and she's gotten the wrong way round. So you're meant to have the white one against the bowl and the coloured one against the jack, so you can sort
Really?
of see. Yes, that's what it's for. There we go. She's got it now. I love these measures, Anthony. They're great, though. You cannot use them as an umpire.
Oh,
They're specifically banned in the laws of the game.
wow.
I have no idea why, but players are free to use them. I find them easy to manage. They don't get bent out of shape like you've said before, I think.
Yes.
And they just, no, they're fine. So we see 2 there. 2 there to the blue team of Ciccone, Midgley and Ciccone as they take an 8-4 lead going into the 9th end of this game. And I would expect this to be the last end, although I don't have a watch. Well, I do have a watch, but I didn't keep the time. So we may see a 10th one. There's room for 10 ends to be played, but the time needs to be right. We
Back
see
bowls will be huge in this end.
the first time she's played the forehand going in this direction, and that's a pretty reasonable bowl there. And you're right, Anthony, if you're orange, that's what you need to be doing.
Yep.
If you're Kevin, you're going, right, I need 4 back bowls and see what I can manufacture as a skip out of that.
Or you set it up for the opposition to kill it. It's their probably other option.
Yeah, absolutely. And that happens less.
Not a bad start.
The heater's been turned on, Anthony.
It has been.
It was a glorious day.
She'll be up and on to that orange or through the gap.
Giving herself a
Good
chance
speed.
here.
Good.
That's not short.
She gave it every
Jesus
chance. Something similar from the orange, if not a bit more.
Good
That is
shot
a very
there.
good ball.
Midgley on her backhand.
Yeah, she matches that back orange. That's the perfect ball.
She's been the player of the game for me,
Yes.
Anthony. She's played some bombs
And
when
she's
she
done
needed
it.
to.
That is
Another
fantastic.
top-notch bowl there. You can see where Paul Midgley got some of his bowling talent from.
Clearly.
Obviously learnt everything that he knows from his mother.
Yes. She'll be looking.
And
just
she's got
to-
something left to teach him, I would suggest.
Yeah, she wins this. She'll be very happy.
She'll have a national title that he can't get. And a disappointing bowl there from Orange. This head's a difficult one to score a 4 out of, Anthony, if you're Orange. So you need to either get 4.
Yeah, you've got to play 3 perfect bowls here to probably get that 4 to force.
Well, the
a
thing
draw.
is, if we look at this head, the closest blue is the one that you need to get 3 other bowls inside of to score 4 points.
Mm.
And if you can't do that, you need to find a way to move the jack to a place where you can. How do you do that?
We'll find out. She's actually looking
Good
not
call.
too bad
This is
here.
a good
That's where
shot.
she wants to be.
So
That's how you start it.
that's a brilliant start there. Kevin's challenge is going to be fitting 4. I think he can get
Does he
3.
play aggressive or just try and sit one in there to make it more difficult?
It's an interesting question.
Because he wouldn't want to...
It's also dependent on whether this is in fact the last end.
Correct, because we have not heard the whistle
The skip,
yet,
the
so
skips will have kept the time. If they've got enough time, Kevin's trying to make it 3 if he's got enough time.
yes.
If he doesn't have enough time, he needs to make it 4, obviously.
They are playing quite quick, so maybe they'll get it in.
Yeah.
So that'll be quite good for
I've
Orange.
wanted to see on the streaming mat for this entire time. I've wanted to see the speedy throwing of the jack that we often see in indoor bowls. Interesting that Neville's taking his time here. It's pretty. His shot is just on his forehand.
After that bowl, he'll feel quite comfortable.
I always get stressed when I'm skipping. I know the time's running close,
Yes.
and the other skip walks up to the head to have a look.
To be fair,
He won't have any idea of the time. They'll just be playing a game of bowls.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in my game, I was close to not throwing the jack off. I took my time, and then 5 seconds later it went off. I was not conscious of time, so I doubt they are either.
No, they have no idea. They'll just be playing their game of bowls at
Yeah.
their pace here. I'm not suggesting anything, but I do find it stressy when I have the time
Yeah,
and I watch a skip. Henry Pratt, someone who used to stress me out because he plays the game and
Very
always
good
has
bowler.
at his pace. Henry Pratt, lovely bowler,
Yes.
nice steady bowler, never keeps the time. If he was beating me, he'd walk up to the head, and I'm like, I would love you to be a bit quicker than what you are, Henry, but
For
it's
sure.
fine. Plays it in great spirit.
Huge chance here. He's
Great effort here from
got
Kevin
the
Bearable.
track.
He's watching
Yep.
this one. He's made it.
4th.
That's a good shot there from Kevin, and
Very
they need to
good.
get that jack up quick, smart, or they're going to run out of time. 2 Orange at least. Good shot. We see the bowls pulled back.
So we're in.
The bowls need to be clear of the square. They need to be clear of the square, and the jack needs to get thrown up. Goodness gracious me.
Stressless. Anyway, last 10.
That was a
To the
stressy
diff.
time, Anthony, but to the
Yes.
difference. We see 2 to Orange
That was what
to
they
go
needed.
to a 6-8, trailing 6-8 after 9 ends. Great bowl there by Kevin Bearable, a bomb of a bowl. And I wonder if we're going to see a second consecutive extra end finish on the live streaming broadcast, Matt Anthony.
Could see it, yeah. We had that with Archer, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Oh, so they had a little bit of time.
Yes.
That whistle, maybe was getting
That's what
stressed out
happened
for
to
no
me.
reason.
Yeah.
And we see the start here on the upper way. Some short bowls again from the teams.
Yeah, you want to get one behind.
It can be so frustrating as a player because often you let it go and it feels nice, and
It
then you fall
does.
short and you're like, what do I need to do here? The answer to that question is aim past, and if you fall short, you're on the jack.
That's what you want.
That's a
good
perfect bowl
correction.
there. Great shot there from Hurley. Saccone gets down to play her bowl. Switching to the backhand now. Having a little nibble. If she rests on that bowl, it's brilliant. Good shot there.
Very good.
Got to find a way to move the jack now. You've got to make your 2 happen.
Yeah, even if you just bump that blue out of the way, because it's sitting pretty good right in front of the jack, especially when you got a slow end like this.
Yes,
you're
for
going
sure.
Uphill, so
She's got to be reaching. Down she comes. It's a good shot.
good position. Could be handy.
What are we going to see here? What would you do if you were the blue skip,
You would
Anthony?
want to be right smack dab on that orange.
I agree.
Or right on the jack. You got 2 options.
Either up.
It looks like he's opting for that.
Neville's being sort of vague,
Yeah.
so she can make her own mind up. You playing the district challenge tonight, Anthony? Do you know
I
it?
am, yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Have you played in it before?
I have. I forgot what the rules are, but
Ah.
it's very exciting and fun.
Well,
I remember
yeah,
that.
that's my main recollection of it as well. I think the jack doesn't get straightened. That's one of the things. The lead can throw the jack wherever they want on the mat as long as it's past the first third. And 4 players rotate through a triples team. It's like a carousel triples. You don't have COVID, do you, Anthony?
No, hope
Cool. Just making sure you had a bit of a cough there.
Yeah.
A disappointing bowl there from Hurley. Trailing 6-8. Fell short on the uphill. And looking like a challenge for Kevin to find a 2. He'll be disappointed because he played an absolute bomb on the second to last end to get his team back in with a chance, but it's looking not that great for the orange team at the moment.
No, it doesn't.
Blue's got lots of position. It's a nice bowls. I'd be tempted to play the back end if I was blue, just to our right, just drawing sort of a back toucher, beating that orange on the outside of the head because that's one of your danger. Or you could play the forehand. You could play the forehand as well, Anthony, apparently. Maybe looking to promote the own blue up.
Apparently.
Looking to promote it up, that's fine. Get it square. Good shot.
That
Well
is
played.
what you wanted. Very good.
I know nothing. And we'll see Kevin need to make a 2 for his team somehow. And this is the last end. He doesn't have last bowl either, so it's going to be a challenge for him. Come into the head now.
That's good.
Yeah, good shot there. He's opened it up. He's got one chance. One. That's the sound of a song. One chance, one opportunity with his last one to try and
take it.
Yeah, good question. To try and snick the jack over to that orange bowl. And Neville knows that's where the danger is, so he's trying to match it himself. See up away he could be short, and that opportunity is still there for Kevin Barrable to pinch the jack off on the forehand to about where Hurley is standing there for 2. You can use that orange 2, can't you, Anthony? That second shot orange that's sitting at 10 o'clock. You can use it to wick off, get your bowl just to sort of come
Even
in
if
that
you hit
right
it
angle.
square, you can just replace the blue and he might sit there for 2 or 3 actually.
Yep, good call.
Depends. That is the swing hand, but if he played enough weight, he could get it square as well.
Well, he gives himself all those options, doesn't he? He's sort of weight to the back corner of the square, so he's maybe 3 or 4 feet over with his collision bowl, the one that's going to be in his hand before he lets it go. He's either looking to pull the jack back to the corner or to replace that blue square. Both get him 2 points. There's
Multiple chances, yeah.
No point in being shy with this bowl. Got to give it a chance. Yes, Kevin, that's your shot. He's just saying that if he's wide, he can also get that 2 options. So it's 2 options on the forehand. The squeeze looks better than the replace to me. I think it's easier.
Yeah, because it displaces the jack, so it makes it harder for the opposition's last bowl.
Yeah, you want a little feather. You can see the beautiful shot here. It's what Kevin can see when he gets down to the mat. He wants to play on his forehand, which is to our right side, looking for the inside edge of that orange bowl that sits at 1 o'clock on our screen. Over to the left for 2, and that lovely camera angle there of Stadium 2000. The crowd beginning to build as we head towards the final stages of these championships, and Kevin ready to play his last bowl now, keep his team alive in the competition. He's let it go. It's a start. He's wide. He's fluffed his lines. And we see Ciccone, Midgley and Ciccone
come back to win the
make
game.
their way through brilliantly, Anthony, to win that game. 10 points to 6 after the regulation 10 ends. We'll be back after lunch for a semi-final of the Open Triples. Thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box, Anthony. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
But until then, I don't even know what to say. Until then, until that semi-final, which we'd love you to tune in for.
We'll have some lunch.
Yeah, go and enjoy your lunch, have another cup of tea, get ready, and we'll be back.
Sweet. Thank you.
Today we're making new friends. We're building a community. And we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.